Uridine monophosphate has been shown to increase neuron and synapse density, dopamine and acetylcholine release, to boost learning and memory, and to decrease depression. It's a pyrimidine nucleoside and it's found in all living organisms from bacteria to humans. It's one of 4 repeating units that make up RNA. RNA and DNA are the main information-carrying molecules in each of your cells. The uridine is so important to brain development that it's even included in human baby formulas. It's essential for optimized cognition and memory throughout your life. When taken as a supplement, uridine monophosphate easily crosses the blood-brain barrier. It's got much better bioavailability than dietary sources of uridine. CDP-choline levels are increased once the uridine reaches your brain. CDP-choline is required for the synthesis of phosphatidylcholine. Phosphatidylcholine, in turn, is a precursor of the essential neurotransmitter acetylcholine. Increased levels of phosphatidylcholine and acetylcholine improves the cognitive function. Uridine is also a major building block for the synthesis of neurons and synapses, and uridine enhances the growth of neurites, which are projections from the neurons that facilitate connections with other neurons. Uridine can help the mood. It helps to boost the release of dopamine in the brain, leading to a better mood, alertness, and cognition. For the neurotransmitters, it's a precursor to the synthesis of acetylcholine, and it boosts the release of dopamine in the brain. And as a neuroprotectant, it's a precursor for the synthesis of phosphatidylcholine, a phospholipid that's a primary component of healthy cell membranes. Uridine also enhances neurite and synapse growth. RNA works as a messenger molecule, carrying the blueprint provided by DNA to tiny cellular factories called the ribosomes. Ribosomes are in charge of protein synthesis, and they use the blueprint sent over from the DNA by the RNA to produce the right protein for the job required. The bottom line is, without the uridine to make up the RNA, DNA couldn't get the information out of the proteins to be synthesized, and life as we know it would cease to exist. Our bodies create some uridine, and we get uridine from the RNA of foods that we eat, including beetroot, beer, broccoli, fish, mushrooms, oats, parsley, etc. Beer provides some of the highest uridine content of all the foods tested. The problem is most of the uridine that we get from food never makes it from our digestive system to our brain, so we need to supplement with uridine monophosphate to experience the benefits. Uridine does much more than merely act as a building block for RNA. It acts in the formation of neurotransmitters and the creation of new synapses. Adding the uridine to your diet can help to improve alertness, focus, memory, learning ability, and mood. Researchers have found that uridine monophosphate alone can improve memory, but by mixing it with DHA from omega-3 fish oil and choline, it works in synergy, increasing the number of synapses, resulting in improved cognition. Uridine helps to boost learning and memory in several ways. Uridine helps the growth of new synapses in the brain, increasing signaling between the neurons and assisting in the formation of acetylcholine. Memory is largely dependent on neuroplasticity, and this is associated with the ability to learn and to form memories. The process of turning experiences into memories relies on the growth of new neurons, or neurogenesis, new synapses, or synaptogenesis, dendrite formation, and network reorganization. New neurons, or neurogenesis, are encased in a phospholipid layer made up partly of phosphatidylcholine. The phosphatidylcholine is made from CDP-choline, and this is produced with the help of uridine. Supplementing with uridine gives your brain the ability to create more phospholipids by providing an abundance of CDP-choline, resulting in new and stronger neurons. Uridine is a precursor to the formation of CDP-choline, which is a precursor to the formation of phosphatidylcholine. The phosphatidylcholine separates into choline and sphingomyelin in the brain. The choline is then available to form acetylcholine. Optimal acetylcholine levels are crucial for cognitive performance. Uridine also helps to increase synapse formation, or synaptogenesis, by enhancing neurite growth. Uridine signals the outgrowth by activating the P2Y2 receptor, and this controls neuron differentiation and synaptic protein synthesis. Uridine impacts mood. It stimulates the release of the feel-good neurotransmitter dopamine in the brain. Phospholipids like phosphatidylcholine are required for cellular growth and repair, and specifically for synaptic function. Phosphatidylcholine synthesis is controlled by the level of its precursor CDP-choline, which is produced from cytidine triphosphate and phosphocholine. Researchers have found that supplementing with uridine monophosphate boosted the levels of CDP-choline by promoting the synthesis of uridine triphosphate, which is partly converted to CTP. Uridine also enhanced neurite outgrowth with the help of nerve growth factor. The research team found that the dopamine release correlated with neurite outgrowth influenced by the uridine monophosphate. Increased levels of dopamine has a significant effect on mood, learning, and attention. Uridine levels decline as we age, and if you're not breastfed as a baby, you start life with a deficit. Breast milk provides the uridine that's required for optimal brain growth. If you don't have enough, cognition, memory, recall, reaction time, and mood diminish. Brain cell membranes degenerate. Neurotransmitter levels decline, and neurons and synapses decline. All of these changes in the brain energy metabolism are contributing factors to neurodegenerative diseases like Alzheimer's, Parkinson's, ALS, epilepsy, and dementia. But even if you're not concerned with age-related cognitive decline or the effects of aging, uridine monophosphate can still help. Uridine plays a critical role in the pyrimidine metabolism in the brain. In the simplest terms, uridine monophosphate promotes neuron and synapse growth and DNA repair. Benefits reported by users include uplifting and stabilizing of the mood, reducing stress and obsessive-compulsive disorder symptoms, a reduction in anxiety, and modulating and normalizing dopamine release. Adding uridine monophosphate to your diet can help to reduce general cognitive decline, increase free phosphatidylcholine, increase acetylcholine in the brain, increase receptor neurogenesis and synaptogenesis density, improve cellular phospholipid membrane health, and boost learning and memory. Users report the effects of uridine monophosphate supplement is most pronounced when it's taken with DHA or omega-3 and choline sources. Uridine monophosphate elevates the mood and relieves depression. Feelings of well-being are enhanced, and verbal fluidity, memory, and focus are all noticed at doses even as low as 150 mg of uridine monophosphate. Those dealing with ADHD report that the uridine monophosphate increases cognition without causing anxiety or mood changes. This is backed up by science that shows that uridine reduces the side effects associated with medication that affects dopamine and GABA neurotransmission. Others report that the uridine monophosphate helps to bring clarity of thought. Resolving problems is faster and easier. Math is easier, and making decisions from a clear emotional state simplifies life. The common thread throughout most reviews on the uridine monophosphate is greater success when stacking the uridine with choline like alpha-glycerophosphcholine and omega-3s. This synergy is backed up by multiple clinical trials. There's plenty of research on uridine monophosphate, but most of the studies and the trials have been done using animals. Likely because uridine is naturally found in every cell of the human body. It's a key element in a chain of 4 molecules that make up RNA. And since uridine is a natural element, it can't be patented, so very little money can be made by pharmaceutical companies since the uridine monophosphate can't be sold as a drug. The clinical evidence that we do have for the uridine monophosphate strongly suggests that it's a powerful nootropic. Consumption of certain nutrients can influence brain function, even if you're not trying to fix a problem. We know that supplementing with DHA omega-3 fish oil can improve cognition in humans, DHA makes up 60% of your brain, and it's most prominent in the phospholipid membrane of each of your brain cells. Adding DHA to your diet has been shown to increase the density of dendritic spines in the hippocampus, which enriches synaptic transmission. Researchers have found that supplementing uridine monophosphate also promotes the synthesis of synaptic phosphatides, but science found that taking DHA with the uridine monophosphate has an even greater effect on the synthesis of synaptic phosphatides, greater than taking either one on its own. Scientists have found that combining DHA with uridine monophosphate and choline amplifies the increases in the dendritic density in the hippocampus. In one very detailed study with gerbils, researchers found the combination of DHA, uridine monophosphate and choline significantly increases learning and memory in the young animals. The editor of the journal said, "Now that you know how to make gerbils smarter, it's not a far stretch to hope that people's intelligence can also be improved." The synergy of the three nootropics, DHA, uridine monophosphate and choline, in boosting learning and memory are powerful motivation for any user to add these to their diet. Research has confirmed the antidepressant effect of omega-3 fatty acids. Harvard also found that uridine, the compound found in sugar beet and molasses, had a similar effect, and when both omega-3 and uridine were used in combination, they were found to be effective at lower doses of each. It was speculated the antidepressant effect of the omega-3 and the uridine was caused by affecting fats in the brain, making membranes more resilient, ease the flow of the neurotransmitters. An imbalance of neurotransmitters is thought to be a cause of depression. To test this theory, the professor and his colleagues put rats through a 15-minute swim test, during which the animals eventually stopped trying to climb out of the water tank and became largely immobile, just enough to keep their head above the water. After the test, the rats were dried off with a towel, placed in a warm enclosure for 30 minutes, and then returned to their cages. The next day, the rats were retested for 5 minutes each, and the rats that hadn't received enough omega-3 or uridine became motionless much more quickly. The researchers equate the onset of immobility in the rats to depression in humans. The animals that received either omega-3 or uridine, or low doses of both, continued to swim around. The professor said of the study, "They seem to be protected from the ability of stress to cause depression." Alzheimer's researchers agree that cognitive decline seen in Alzheimer's patients is caused by the loss of brain synapses. Researchers at MIT had a theory that restoring some of the synapses could provide an effective treatment for Alzheimer's. An MIT team reported in Brain Research that rodents who were given a cocktail of DHA, omega-3, uridine and choline showed a greatly increased concentration of dendritic spines. These dendritic spines received messages in the postsynaptic neurons. The head of the research said of the study that synapse regeneration had occurred. To Alzheimer's researchers, this synapse regeneration was very unusual and came as a surprise. In the study, some of the rats received all three compounds, the omega-3, the uridine and the choline, and some received only one. The improvements in synapse growth and cognitive ability were greatest in the rats who were given all three. Other research ongoing for at least the last 10 years shows that the early treatment using diet can significantly slow the progression of Alzheimer's disease. It could be argued that most users supplementing with omega-3, uridine and choline could avoid Alzheimer's altogether. Published in the Journal of Nutritional Biochemistry, a study from the University of Eastern Finland and conducted throughout Europe proved that you could reduce dementia risk and reduce amyloid accumulation in Alzheimer's mouse models. The results of the study showed even slight changes in the composition of the diet may, under sufficiently long periods of time and at an early enough stage of the disease, lead to significant changes in brain metabolism and improve memory performance. The supplements used in the study included uridine monophosphate, phospholipids, B vitamins and antioxidants. This combination has been put into a new supplement called Suvinade, which is undergoing clinical trials in Europe and the United States. Recommended doses of uridine monophosphate for nootropic benefit is 150 to 250 mg twice per day. It's recommended taking the uridine monophosphate with a good multivitamin that includes the B vitamin group and a broad range of trace minerals including magnesium. For best results, you should stack the uridine monophosphate with omega-3s that include at least 750 mg of DHA and 300 mg of EPA per day. Introduce a good choline source after a couple of weeks of supplementing with the uridine. Start with 50 mg of alpha-glycerylphosphocholine or CDP choline and increase your dose up to 300 mg. You could take higher doses of a choline source if you also decide to stack this combination with a racetam like paracetam. If you find the choline supplementation increases depression, stop using the choline and try using acetyl L-carnitine as an alternative. Everyone's body chemistry is different. To find the optimal dose of uridine monophosphate for you, it can take patience and some experimentation. Too little uridine monophosphate and you won't see any benefits. Too much uridine and you can feel emotionally dull and or overly focused. Uridine is produced naturally in the body, so it's considered safe and well tolerated. Taking uridine monophosphate with food can help to avoid any side effects. Users report only minor side effects like a decrease in emotion, feeling like a robot, but this has only been noted with very high doses of the uridine monophosphate. If you don't respond well to B vitamins or SAMe, you might not enjoy the benefits of uridine monophosphate. You should learn more about the methylation factor involved in this reaction, and check out my video on the MTHFR polymorphism for more information. Uridine monophosphate is critical for the formation of RNA, the main messenger molecule that's needed to transfer DNA's blueprint for protein synthesis. Uridine is a precursor in the synthesis of CDP choline, which is a precursor in the synthesis of phosphatidylcholine. The phosphatidylcholine is required for the synthesis of acetylcholine. Uridine enhances the release of the feel-good neurotransmitter dopamine, and uridine enhances the growth of new neurons and synapses. Uridine monophosphate is especially helpful if you're dealing with stress or depression. A dose of 150 to 250 mg of uridine monophosphate twice a day is a suggested starting dose. It can take a while to feel the effects of uridine monophosphate, but you can amplify the effects by stacking it with 300 mg of alpha-glycerylphosphocholine or CDP choline and 700 to 1000 mg of DHA omega-3 fish oil. Don't push it by taking more than the recommended dose of the uridine monophosphate, as you could experience unwanted side effects. Some experienced users stack the uridine, choline and the fish oil with things like Nupept, a paracetam base and other racetams and Lion-Mane's mushroom. A general rule is to only add one new supplement at a time to learn how your body reacts before adding another. Never try 2 new supplements in the same day, and always start at a reduced dose and slowly titrate up to reduce the risk of side effects. If stacking more than one racetam or racetams with Nupept, smaller doses of all would be required. For more information about nootropics, herbs, supplements and health conditions, check out my website.